Yeah, check it out now. Run for your life. Or you gonna get your heat, whatever. We could die together. As long as I send your maggot ass to the essence, I don't give a fuck about my presence. I'm lost in the blocks of hate and can't wait for the next crab nigga to step and meet fate.
Man, I'm trying to get the fuck up out of here tonight, man. Word, P. Call up the peoples, man. Call everybody up, man. Let's get the fuck up out of here.
There's a war going on outside. No man is safe from. Yo, today Mobb Deep released a new album called The Infinite. And when I tell you, as a Mobb Deep fan, I am not disappointed. And everything is perfected. And let me explain what I mean. Every sound from all the albums that we heard, all the different songs, all the different beats. It's like, you know, watching the little kids play in the alley. The one he was a little target, play basketball, and then he just make it through high school and making it in the NBA and become like a Michael Jordan. Like they matured well. Like the sounds matured well. It's like a perfect. It's perfect. I mean, when I say I wasn't disappointed, is an understatement. I'm watching Havoc and Raekwon. You know they got a tour coming up. Purple Tape and Mobb Deep. I'm just watching legends, right? And in my personal opinion, that didn't get or don't get enough recognition, right? They don't. Because, like, we paid attention to the Jay-Z's and recently the Nas's. And more people pay attention to Jay-Z because, the money, who's the best rapper, Biggie, Jay-Z, Tupac, blah, blah, blah. He's always up there. And then people from my era that was there, we fought for Nas. And there's nothing to take away nothing from Jay-Z now. During the East Coast, West Coast beef, Mobb Deep came at Pop. Then Pop got killed. They took the song down. Mobb Deep beef with Jay-Z, Prodigy, namely. It was just so much history. Shit, if you read Prodigy book, My Life, Purple Tape. You gotta keep the Purple Tape. Like this is like yeah. Only the real stuff is in here. I listened to I didn't read this yet. I listened to it, the autobiography, and P does the autobiography itself. For a moment though, right? It was riffraff. It was we thought Mobb Deep was over. P was he was coming to the truth in the sense of like all the different things that was going on. You start hearing it in his music. Just getting into his background, living with his grandmother. His grandfather was a musician, and his grandmom owned like a dance studio. That's how he had met Ashante and her mom. Him dealing with sickle cell. My mother had that. He said pain was his best friend. Man, y'all gotta go ahead. If you haven't got the book or you haven't downloaded the autobiography, and you can hear Prodigy tell his own story, talk about how they met, how Mobb Deep met, the situation with them and Noriega when they bumped heads a little bit. It's just like it is it's hip hop history, man. What can I say? It is hip hop. It's been a good year for hip hop. We had Raekwon drop an album. Fire. Fire. And then we came up to the 30th year anniversary of the Purple Tape. Not only did we come up on the 30th anniversary of the Purple Tape, it's a lot of anniversaries. Today is AZ's anniversary for his album, Life's a Bitch and Then You Die. Ghostface came out with another album. It's like I'm like in another timeline or something. And let's not forget Eclipse and that fire album that they dropped. When I say we got music for another 30 years just from this year alone. And no disrespect to all the other artists, right? You know, that's your music. I get it. That's what y'all like. Y'all like different sounds or whatever you like, you know, whatever. But this right here, Nas, Master Pill, that's the label that all of my guys are under right now. This is the foundation. This is the foundation of hip hop. You know, Raekwon and Havoc been doing a little tour promoting, going on podcasts or whatever, promoting the upcoming tour, the albums and stuff like that. You know, working together. And Raekwon, the message is still the same. And he was talking about how we need to just like rock and roll, it's different types of rock and roll. We need to stop calling everything hip hop. Because everything isn't hip hop. And I love the fact that he's a guardian, a Melakim of the culture, and not letting it just go astray, or trying to bring it back and separate the wheat from the tare. What those brothers produce is hip hop. And it's not just, it's like, you know, we could get away with boom taps because we really spitting lyrics. And we had some boom taps that's some big beats too now. But a lot of the new generation is just big beats. You just playing it over because you like the beat. And ain't nothing wrong with that. But the replay value, in my personal opinion, is just go away. That's why they keep dropping all this music, because it's like, you know, the pressure of keeping up with everybody because everybody's dropping music. It's easier to make beats. You know, it's different than when back in the day you had RZA and them scratching records and doing all the different things that they did. You had Havoc with the crates. They did a lot of sampling and whatever, but in my personal opinion, it's better music. Now, it's not to say in the course of this last 30 years, it wasn't some good stuff that came out outside of the people that I'm talking about. That's not what I'm saying. But this here is the foundation. This is the core. Nas, the Wu, everybody in the Wu. But I'm talking about Raekwon right now. In my personal opinion, the best member of the Wu, when it comes to like what the Wu is the GZA, hands down. And I mean, like, what we would consider the Wu. Now, I'm not saying, I think all of them rap equally great the same. There's no one over the other. You dig what I'm saying? But, like, and RZA said this. If it wasn't for the RZA, if it wasn't for the GZA, it wouldn't be a RZA. So you just got to think about that. And when you listen to GZA, like, he really be spitting. He be getting into quantum physics. He's bringing stuff that you wouldn't, probably a lot of you young people wouldn't even be interested in. Like, my generation brought wisdom and knowledge to music. All right. Woo, bring it down. I am excited. Yes, I am. Mobb Deep has released another album, and when I tell you they didn't miss a beat, They didn't. What I'ma say Taj Mahal is like the one that's like really running right now. Um Havoc, your delivery, the flow. Wow. This is Havoc. This is America's Nightmare Havoc. Cause if you haven't noticed, if you listen to all the Mobb Deep albums, right? When you get up to Murder, when you get up to America's Nightmare, Havoc kind of had a chip on his shoulder a little bit. He was flowing hard. It's not to say that he never flowed hard, but he was flowing harder. And from between then and now, like we see more of that. It's like it's matured. And watching him do all these different podcasts and stuff, and I think he even has his own. I'm like, yeah, this is my guy. Havoc, Prodigy, Raekwon, Nas. These are these are the top four. And I'm not saying they better than everybody. And add Jay in there. And I'm more of a Pac guy than Biggie guy, but then they, unfortunately, they didn't get to be here and we could just talk about albums that's 30 years and what they did in between, unfortunately, because they met their demise. And it might be a whole different discussion. Imagine if we had all the legends on the stage. It's just so much going on, man. You got Nas AZ. You got Nas running Master Pill. He got Ray. He got the Mob, Slick Rick, Ghostface. And he's talking about coming out with a comic book. He I think Legend has it, where they gonna do like comic books about rap legends. And he was talking about I read some of the interview in the Rolling Stones, and he was talking about them what far as like Tony Starks. We know who Tony Starks is. Every Wu member has a second name. RZA, Bobby Digital, Raekwon, the chef. All right, I ain't gonna try to remember all of them, but we talking about Ghostface as by Tony Stark. But like this, the type of moves he making, I'm looking forward to the comic books. We are going to read them here on Coffee and Books, that segment of the show. We definitely going to get into those comic books. We definitely supporting. We are definitely supporting. I'm so happy that people like my guys are getting the attention they deserve. All right, so let's just look at this track list, right? We got Against the World, Gunfire, Easy, bruh. Take it easy, bruh. And when you play these, you get kind of like murder music vibes. Not murder, excuse me, Hell on Earth vibes. All grown up. The lyrics are immaculate. When I say you won't be disappointed, you won't be disappointed, right? When we get to track five, no, when we get to track four, now the collabs come in. We used to Nas coming in, silk shirts in my chest show, what a flirt. Holly Berry blew a kiss at the barber strike saying concert. Like that Nas. Murder music Nas. And I stink like and I front like my dude don't stink. Instinct like Cupid Jordan stepping out the latest toy. Like, yo, we got that Nas again. Let me chill, get ahead of myself, right? But Nas, I think, has three features on here, right? And one of the things, right? Hold on, let me hit the coffee. One of the things you notice with a lot of acts, right? They don't be wanting to flow no more because they don't want to, because like it's like you was hard back in the day, but you do so much shit, you ain't up on top of your rap game like you was when you was hungry. So a lot of people don't be dropping freestyles and shit. Cam do still, but it's like it's hard. But it ain't about being the best rapper. But the era that we come from is so competitive. Like some of these guys is not even dropping nothing. And I can see how like a person like me, I'm caught up in the purple tape rate. Like, yo, I just dropped this. Like, move past it. I'm on this now. You know what I mean? It's like it's just a time capsule for a lot of us because, especially for me, all these albums for me, and I'm talking about Ray, I'm talking about every Raekwon, every Mobb Deep album, the Jizza, the RZA, Bobby Digital, the Grave Diggers, Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z, all these albums, DMX, all this stuff that was happening around every Clue mixtape. Because here's the thing, you'll hear it before the album drop, you hear it on DJ Clue. And then you had the South doing what the South do. By the way, you had Master P, you had Lil Wayne and all them. Juvenile, I love Juvenile. I forgot my guy. Juvie, you definitely top. Now we got to change that 4 to 5. That 400 degrees, that is a classic. That is a classic. Now, at first, I wasn't a big 3-6 Mafia fan at the beginning. Then I caught on late because it was a different flow. But when you heard that beat, I'm like, oh, what's going on here? So 3-6 Mafia, I love them. Project Pat, love them. So we got Pusha T on Look At Me, track 4. The Clipse. It is, I'm telling you, right? When I say I'm not disappointed and you won't be disappointed, just hold on. And hold on. So we got the MOBB, that's number 5. Big Noyd, Come Back. Rapping Noyd, Ty Max and Ty Nitty, Scarface and Gambino, New York City, it's P, Live and Direct, Stab Your Neck, Ice Pick, Blooded Up Your Whole Entire Shit, Live Shit, my 996, Ask Your Bitch, my crew one wild, Snatch Chains and Bracelets, your time's wasted, Figuring P, it's 2 sides of me, Snake niggas obviously, you get lumped, something horribly, and then we calmly, stop playing. Like anything a trigger a Prodigy verse. But then, all right, so we got Nas, we got Nas and Jara Smith. That's another joint. I seen a video for that. That was that shit is hard. You got Taj Mahal. Hold on. Whoa, pump brakes. Alchemist. Shout out to Alchemist, dog. Man, nigga should have wrote notes. Man, when I was listening to this, I was at the gym, right? I had chest, legs and back, right? I just been slacking. I had to get in there to do a lot of work. I listened to the whole album 2.5 times. And playing songs over and over on the way home in traffic. And if I was recording then, if I could play the music, right? Oh man. I can't explain it. This is another timeless album. And finally, in my personal opinion, that Havoc is going to get weed in Alchemist and Prodigy, rest in peace, is going to get the honor and praise that they deserve.